absolutely know the steps one, two, and three, the ABCs, the whole nine. Other times, you just really need to understand what to avoid. So if you're a brand new coach or you're below five to $10,000 a month, then this is the video for you. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the five major things to avoid, really that plague most coaches in the kind of first 2 to 3 years of their journey for most, and keeps them from ever getting to that 10 to 15K, 20K months, and so on. So if you're excited for that, then leave an emoji. If you're here live, comment hashtag live. If you're watching this in the future, leave hashtag replay. Would love to reach out and say hi. And also just make sure all of this tech stuff is working. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the things that we're going to be avoiding. And I want you to avoid these things at all costs. And we're just going to make some spots for us right here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I want to know, we're not going to shame anybody here. We don't do these in these weekly streams, in these videos, is which one of these is you and which you're kind of wanting some most help around not doing. The first thing that I see keeps a lot of coaches stuck, not kind of at their full income earning potential, is that they're kind of looking around and they're doing what others are. Doing what others do is not a winner's mentality. And it's honestly a quick way of getting stuck and kind of lost. What ends up happening is that in the beginning, you really feel like, wow, because person A or B or C or all of them are doing this thing, I'm going to go and do that too. And so you feel like in that moment, you're doing the right things in the right order. You feel like in that moment, you have a plan and that things are going the right way. And it's a really good feeling and it's very convincing. However, as you start to navigate and as you start to go about it, you realize that you have to constantly be going back to those people to see what they're doing, to be basically you end up copying them. You end up very lost, not knowing, worst case, not knowing who you are, who it is that you're helping, and you kind of end up with their business. And so that's what we don't want to do. We need to stop doing what others are doing and blindly just kind of following as they go. It's a very quick way to get lost, to not do the right things in the right order, which leads us here to number two. The second thing that we need to stop doing is operating with no plan. Who's guilty of this? I know I am, straight up. And oftentimes, this is the thing right here that really sets apart the successful coaches from the others. And when you have a plan that's tailored for where you're at, in mind with where you want to go, that's a recipe for success. So, number one, we're going to stop doing what others are doing. And the second is that we need to stop operating without a plan. A telltale sign of the people who don't have a plan, they're going from challenge to challenge. They're typically signing up for MLM thing after MLM thing on top of doing coaching. I see this nonstop. They're going from course to course, from coach to coach, watching tons of content, not really doing anything in any successive order to get them any success. And that leads us into thing number three, which is going to help speed up your success, but it's a thing I need for you to avoid and do the opposite. And that's asking friends for advice. Typically, you want to, console on your friends because they love you, you love them, you have their back, they have yours. However, I've also just kind of seen this end up, and I see this so much, where the friend's not in your shoes, nor do they have the sort of skin in the game that you have. And so you end up getting advice that just doesn't really match up or make much sense for where you're at and where you want to be. And honestly, most of your friends are probably just as lost and looking for help. And so if you have a friend that has the results you're wanting, ask that friend for help. If the friend doesn't have those results, you can ask for help. Just don't take it to heart. Take it as kind of feedback is probably the word I would use, and not necessarily as truth. Okay? Number 4 and 5 here are pretty darn important. Now, before we talk about those, if you're watching this right now and you are an online coach and you have an offer worth $500 or more, We're starting a new case study group this month. So if you want to add 3 to 5 clients, that should be anywhere between 4.5 to 12K in revenue. And you have the capacity to take on 3 to 5 new clients. You're friendly and coachable, and you have 1 to 3 hours a week to implement. I'd love to help you implement my system for getting clients consistently and for helping you to impact more people, create some more time freedom, and getting that going. So if you want the details on that, just comment clients where you're watching this or before the end of this video, and I'll reach out and share the details with you, when it starts, how the whole thing works, who it's for, who it's not, and we can see what's possible for you over the next 30, 60, 90 days, and maybe even a little longer. Let's talk now about thing number 4. I see this a lot when I get on scale calls with coaches who are looking for a bit more help, and I see this all day long in the DM, and we have to stop doing it, and it's having multiple offers. Having multiple offers is the quickest way to the downward spiral, and the reason is because whenever you hop on a sales call, you're now trying to figure out what thing to sell them. Whenever you get somebody in front of DM, you get this anxiety. What is it that I'm going to sell them? Or worse, you have so much to sell, you don't know what questions to ask, so you don't end up selling anything, even though you have multiple offers. We need one offer to get you to your first $100,000 and more, honestly. And the coaches who focus and they avoid having multiple offers are the ones that are going to get there fastest. So right now, if you're below 5 to 10K a month and you have multiple offers, we need to make some decisions, and we need to cut one or a few of them if you have a bunch of offers. That's thing number 4. We need one offer to get you to your first $100,000. Thing number 5. What color are we going to use for that? Let's use, we're running out of colors here, huh? We'll use this like peachiness. Yeah, that'll work. Thing number 5. And there is a time and place for this. When you're just starting out, it's a huge distraction. And that's focusing on content creation. You guys can hear my allergies have been acting up just a tiny bit. Whoops. Realize I'm not showing my iPad. Focusing on content creation. There is a time and place for content. When you're just getting started, you need for this to be as minimal as possible. As you get going and hiring a team and all that, content becomes super, super important. When you're just getting going, though, it doesn't need to be your full-time focus. We need a very specific kind of content that we call hand-raising content. That's a terrible hand. Let's try that again. I'm working on my hands lately, guys. Let's see. A little better. We need hand-raising content specifically, and not Clubhouse and Reels and all of that sort of stuff. So if you're ready to stop doing these 5 things, and I want to know, which of these are you doing most often, and are you most excited to cut out? The reality is that when you start doing the right things in the right order, when you have the right plan, when you have the right community, when you have the right environment, and you have the right coach to walk you through it and to answer any questions as you go, the world gets a lot easier. You go from wasting a bunch of time on those 5 things that we just talked about, and you instead start turning that into paying clients and revenue and proof of your hard work. So if you're ready to stop focusing on things that waste time and to start implementing a plan to help you consistently get clients without content, without a ton of the headaches, without funnels, without ads, without any of that, and those weren't even here on the list, then just comment clients wherever you're watching this video. I'll reach out to you with the details, how it works, what we would do together, the whole 9. And a whole great group of people already implementing all this stuff day in and out. And if you meet the criteria, you're friendly, you have a couple hours a week, 1 to 3 to implement, you have the ability to take on a couple more clients, and you have an offer of at least $500, then this could be for you, and it could be super helpful. And I would love to selfishly be responsible for your success, and you be one of the people that I'm sharing out on my story, talking about here in these videos, like Henry, who landed an 8K client in his first month with me, or like Chris, who landed a 2K client about 3 months into the program, or like Carrie, who's landing consistent 6 to 10K clients month in and month out. I'd love for you to be a trophy on my shelf. So comment clients, I'll reach out to you with the details, and we'll see what's possible for you. In the meantime, it's important that we stop doing these things, focusing on what others are doing, operating with no plan, asking friends for advice, having multiple offers, and focusing on content creation. If you do this, my friends, I think that you're going to be in far better shape by the end of 2021 and have a whole different sort of business and life approaching 2022. That's it for me. Big thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.